Now we're going to take a quick sidetrack from setting up our delegate in order to create a property which is going to be able to hold our task objects. So we're going to navigate to the ccViewController.h file, and we're going to go ahead and create a property. And we're going to make this strong and non-atomic, which is a hint that this is going to be an object. And we're going to create an NS mutable array. And the reason we're going to make this mutable is we're going to be adding and removing task objects all the time based on if the user deletes a row from our table view, if they add additional task objects. We want to have some flexibility here. So we're going to make sure that we're using an NS mutable array, and we're going to call this task objects. So because we're going to be using this property here, let's go ahead and use lazy instantiation we learned about in our videos and our lessons together. And we're going to go ahead and do this above viewDidLoad, and we're going to go ahead and implement our getter for task objects. So we can type in task objects, and notice that when I started typing task objects after the subtraction sign, so let me do that one more time just so you can see it. I start typing task objects, it autofills here, even though I didn't add the return type first. So it knew based on the name which method I was looking for, specifically this getter. Well, where did this method come from? It was actually generated by the at property, and it's super handy because we don't have to write all of these getters and setters ourselves. So we're going to override the getter functionality here, and every time, specifically the first time we call the getter, we're going to go ahead and do this logic inside here. And the first time is special because only the first time are we going to create a task array. So we're going to be able to say if not underscore task objects, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to say underscore task objects is equal to NS mutable array alloc init. And what we're doing here is we're setting up the instance variable and saying that if the instance variable does not exist yet or it doesn't have a value, let's give it a value. And specifically, we're going to allocate and initialize an NS mutable array. Well, this method also returns an NS mutable array, so we know that we need to return something here. And we happen to have an NS mutable array named underscore task objects. So we can simply say return underscore task objects. So the first time we try to access the task objects array, it's going to go ahead and call this getter, and it's going to say, do we have a value for it? And if we don't, we're going to go ahead and allocate initialize it, and we'll return an array that will have a value. So we can always be assured that when we use this task objects array, that it will have memory allocated initialized. And this is super handy because if we forgot to do this, we would still be able to call the method add object or remove object on our property, but if it didn't have a value, nothing would happen.